Hey everybody, it's Scott Henson, pastor of Dallas Baptist Church. I want to share a little bit with you about Advent. And you may not know much about Advent if you're anything like me. I grew up in a kind of a mundane, well not really mundane, but a kind of an average Southern Baptist church in the area that didn't really follow the liturgical calendar. And I didn't really know about Advent until I got to college. But Advent is a season. It generally lasts 4 weeks around Christmas time. And it reminds us of the coming of Jesus, the birth of Jesus, but also the return of Jesus, the second coming of Jesus. And this season we remember both. We hold fast to the anticipation of that King who came in a manger will come again on a white horse. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the great German preacher, during around the 1930s and 40s, wrote this. He said, "Christ is knocking. It's still not Christmas, but it's also not the great last Advent, the last coming of Christ. Through all the Advents of our life that we celebrate runs the longing for the last Advent, when the word will be, quote, 'See, I am making all things new,' Revelation 21:5. The Advent season is a season of waiting, but our whole life is an Advent season. That is, a season of waiting for the last Advent, the time when there will be a new heaven and a new earth. And we're all waiting. During Advent, each Sunday we light a candle, and for 4 weeks we do this practice. It reminds us of the anticipation of the second coming of Christ as we remember the first coming of Christ. And on Christmas Day, the last candle in the middle, the white candle, is lit, the Christ candle, and we celebrate his first coming and again his second coming. One of the things about Advent that we need to keep in mind is that the second coming of Christ will come very quickly and catch us unaware, just like the first coming. Very many people were not expecting Jesus to come when he did and how he came. They were anticipating him to some degree. They were looking for a Messiah, and many of the people of the day were looking, and they had perceptions of what that Messiah would be. And many of them thought he'd be some sort of kingly Messiah, a Messiah with a sword who'd rescue them from the Romans. But he came lowly in a manger, and everybody was caught unaware. You see, we find one of the themes in the New Testament is that Jesus will come quickly. In fact, the good King James Version of the Bible in Revelation, the phrase, "I come quickly," or "come quickly," occurs 6 times. Revelation 2:5, Revelation 2:16, Revelation 3:11, Revelation 22:7, Revelation 22:12, and Revelation 22:20. In fact, this emphasis on quickness we find in Paul's writings over in Thessalonians, this metaphor of a thief in the night. We also find that in Peter as well. Come quickly. You see, this notion is that we don't know when God is going to come. As I mentioned earlier, he came the first time when everybody wasn't really expecting him in the way he wasn't expecting. And someday he'll come again, soon and very soon. And we may be caught unaware. Wish we'd all been ready. Are you going to be ready? You're going to be ready for that day when he comes again. One time he came as a babe in a manger. The next time he'll come to judge the quick and the dead. Revelation 22:12, "And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to as his work shall be." What is your reward? Is it blessing or is it punishment? Is it the streets of gold and glory, or is it eternal flames of hell? If he comes quickly, are you ready?